Okay, we are going to talk about growing your audience today. On this training, we're going to talk about leveraging OPA. Does anyone know what OPA stands for? If not, no big deal. We're going to talk about it right now. So we're going to talk about what is OPA. We're going to talk about Facebook groups. We're going to talk about the types of posts you can make in Facebook groups, engagement, and leveraging admin relationships. OPA is other people's audiences. Why do we want to do this? Number one, less risk, right? We could test our message with a lot less risk. Other people's money, other people's stages, other people's platforms. That's what we're using right now. So a lot of times people are growing their Facebook groups or growing their audience with money. They're actually putting cash into some sort of ads or marketing strategy to build their audience. Sometimes we don't have the cash flow to do that when we're first getting started. And also, we haven't validated our message enough to get ourselves in a place where it makes sense to leverage our own cash flow. So that's why in the beginning, especially, and even still to this day, even after having a budget for ads, even after having a budget to create my own stage, to have my own platforms, we're working on YouTube and podcasts. Like, we are building all those things out right now, and it's going to cost us a lot of money, but it's also going to make us a lot of money. We're doing all of that on our own, but in the interim, and even while we're doing it, we're still leveraging these strategies using other people's audiences. So first, I want to talk about Facebook group strategy. I do not think that enough people are utilizing other people's audiences the way that they could and making it part of their marketing strategy, right? We talk about grow your audience. We talk about nurture your audience. We talk about build your audience. Where we seem to fall short often is in the building your audience space. One of the strategies, we use to do this is we send out friend requests. We send out connection requests, right? We use engagement to grow our audience in hopes that by engaging, people will be interested. By giving out value, people will be interested. But there's a lack of, I think there's a lot of questions that come up around like, well, what should I actually post in somebody else's Facebook group? And what should I do, right? So that's what I want to nail down today. So we're going to talk about creating posts specifically for the community that you're in, right? So if you're leveraging someone else's audience, we're going to talk about creating posts specifically for that community. That means you're not copy and pasting one post and putting it in every single group you belong to. This is a common mistake that you see. Number one, people immediately are triggered and annoyed by it. So have you guys ever seen when you see one of your friends in your wall takes a post and they share it into every group, and then you see them doing that and it just feels so spammy, right? And that's what we want to avoid. We want to show up to serve and show up genuinely for the specific community you're in. And that makes all the difference versus this post that's just being posted and put out in all of these random places in hopes that somebody is going to raise their hand, where having a post that seems very specific to that audience gets people's attention more, right? And I'm going to show you some examples of that. So I'm going to show you examples of market research posts, inspiration posts, gratitude and transformation posts, engagement posts, and then obviously commenting on other people's posts is huge as well. And at the very end of this, I'm going to show you a last strategy I'm using that's like the brand new organic strategy that we're using. So here's an example of market research. Obviously, you guys can tell that this was actually posted in 2020. We still do this. I just happen to find really good ones that worked well. Those are the ones I wanted to show you guys. So in this one, I say, I need some help. I'm looking for 10 to 15 women who care just as much about impact as income, just as much about following their passion as increasing profit. You're a service-based coaching or consulting business, that should say business. You have invested in a coach or program already. I'm developing a program that I'd love to ask you some questions, and I'd love to ask you some questions. If this sounds like you, let me know. Or if it sounds like a fellow boss mom, want to tag her for me. Thanks so much, ladies. XO Alyssa. This post was posted in Boss Moms. I did get some comments on this. I did get help. Specifically, I would say probably around like 18 or 19 comments on this. I replied to some of them, right? In this training, or in this going about this, what I did is I messaged the people that I needed to. There's some of these people that were actually like already my clients. So I was like, oh, I can ask you guys anyways. And I didn't end up messaging them. Specific, like Patricia Saggio. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. She was already a client. So she was already in the program that I was talking about. But this was an attempt at rebuilding my mastermind. So the mastermind you're in right now, this was the beginning phases of it. I had initially created a mastermind in 2019 that was for $97 a month. And guess what? At $97 a month, I could not get one single person to engage and create the value and create the community that I was really looking to go for, mostly because you got to pay attention, right? So it was like, at this time, I had dissolved that mastermind. It was called the Biz Badass Mastermind. I had dissolved it and decided I was going to go for a high ticket mastermind. So this was the beginning phases of that. I tell you guys to do market research. I also did market research. I conducted the calls just like I tell you guys to do. And some of those people came back later today and did end up investing in my mastermind. All right, inspiration and motivation. So posting in specific groups. This was a post that I made in a ClickFunnels group. Hey guys, I just want to share some inspiration for anyone who's starting out. 2 years ago, I started a bookkeeping practice with outsourced CFO services. I did this to stay home with my kids, and I had a little bitty goal to make $2K to pay my student loans and groceries for my 2 babies. I built the business to $25K plus months. Since I've pivoted into a strategist because I followed my heart and all the nudges that said I should be doing this. I have a business today that is scaling past 65K months, all organic traffic. If you're struggling and feeling defeated or feeling some seasonal blues, keep going. I would not be able to tell you this story if I gave up. Keep freaking going, even when it's so hard. If it feels especially hard, it's likely because you're on the verge of a breakthrough. This month, I'll be launching my very first funnel and doing my very first ads. Wish me all the high vibes and high traffic, right? This post, as you can see down here, got quite a bit of traffic. I had over 73 comments. A lot of those comments were, oh, that's awesome. Great job, right? But then there was other people who were like, hey, tell me about this 65K all organic, right? So it piqued people's interest, but it doesn't feel like a self-serving post, right? It feels like inspiration. I specifically put this in ClickFunnels. I talk about funnels and ads for that reason, right? Obviously, this is November 2019. So this is an older post, but I still do things like this today. I just thought this one was a really good example of when I was first starting out, how I would leverage what I've accomplished for a specific community. All right, we have engagement. So I love this post because I got away with tagging my Facebook group in it. You guys, where are you allowed to do that? Almost never, right? So I have, would you feel more confident showing up if you knew exactly what to post? I did get some comments on this. And then on some of these people, I actually did reply. I think I only replied like once or twice where I said to swipe awesome content ideas, join, and I tagged exactly what to post. I'm not sure how I got away with this, especially because I posted it in Boss Moms, which they're super strict about letting people post in there. But I think I flew under the radar because it just seems like a genuine question, even though they didn't catch that. Like this could have just been that it was underlined, even though I was tagging my group. So You don't have to obviously have a group that you can add into a sentence. It's not a requirement, but it was a really strategic post that I was able to make where I got some people to join my group from this. So just asking these, what we'll call like piercing questions, right? When you go into groups and you're asking piercing question, would you feel more confident if? Would you, how would you feel if this happened, right? And just looking for people to kind of raise their hands or even just go check your page out, right? Because what happens here is exactly what to post. Man, I want to learn more about exactly what to post. I'm going to go check out Alyssa J. Dillon. Then they click on your profile, right? Then they opt in for something because you've been posting consistently on your profile. So then they opt in for something. You guys, the amount of opt-ins that I've gotten on some of my posts on my personal page right now are crazy. And I'm going to tell you exactly how that happened later in this training. Okay. Next post. I did not copy all of this post. Apparently, I just gave you guys the first part. Okay, so a gratitude post, right? This is really just it's showing that you're grateful for the community you're in, right? So the gratitude I'm feeling over these last few weeks is absolutely overwhelming. I reached out to one of my mentors in the clients and community, Justin, and let him know that my dream was to be on stage. In October, I was asked to speak at the Clients Community Live event as a panelist. And then I go on to talk about the fact that, and then next thing that happened is they asked me to be a keynote speaker on their stage. I talk about the success I've had in organic marketing, in developing content and marketing message. Then from there, I obviously had a lot of people that were commenting, engaged, came and followed me. I had a bunch of people come join my group from this post as well. So again, just showing up to celebrate your wins in other people's communities, you can leverage that. I actually know a guy who one of his biggest strategies to grow his audience is it's like he literally goes and puts gratitude brag posts in every group that he's ever bought a program for. He does it like once a month. Like this guy is like, look at what I've accomplished. Thank you so much for helping me with this. And it's almost like you want to call bullshit because you know that he's doing it in all of these groups. I happen to be in a lot of groups that he's in. We happen to have similar mentors. And so it's kind of funny because it's like, I see him doing it. Like I see him posting in one group, like, oh, thanks so much, Russell Bronson and the ClickFunnels community. And then he'll be over here and he's like, oh, thanks so much, clients and community. It's so awesome to work with you guys, right? So it's funny how, you know, he will make these posts about how he's so successful because of it, but he's celebrating his wins. And so you're interested in what he's doing. So you go follow his stuff to see like, oh, well, what type of content is he posting? What is he selling, right? Like it spikes your interest. And so I actually started leveraging that same exact strategy this year. It seems to be working pretty well. Okay. All right, creating value. So in this one, I just give you guys an example of how I create value, and I'm responding. Basically, this one person posts. It was in the ClickFunnels community. My CTA says, book a call, I'll give you this. I'm thinking it might be the problem. So she's upset because her ads in her funnel aren't working the way she wants, and she thinks it's a messaging problem. Q, messaging problem, that's me, right? I can help with that. So I just add in, I think high performers won't use a template. They're interested in getting coached by the right people and fast. The informed client knows your template is a lead magnet and not a real solution. The uninformed client is excited to get something for free, and that's it. Message me if you want to brainstorm with me. As someone who is making a lot of stage appearances this year, I can tell you what would be sexy to me, right? Guess what? She messaged me. She did. She was like, oh my gosh, thanks so much for commenting on my post. I'd love to hear your thoughts, right? And now I'm in a conversation with her. Has she bought something from me yet? No. But also, it just is like, this is what creates leads, right? This is planting the seeds. All right, this is not part of my training. There we go. Oh, because I didn't delete the rest of the slides. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you, the last thing I want to show you, I don't have specific slides for it because I literally just started doing it recently and it's super brand new. And I was kind of waiting to see how it all panned out before I just took screenshots, right? Okay, so I want to show you this thing. So let's go to Facebook. Facebook, I found a group. I've been in it for a while. It's Debbie Choi's bookkeepers resource group. So how I started this process is I actually searched for groups for bookkeepers, accountants, coaches. That was like those are my people, right? That's who I work with. Coaches, bookkeepers, accountants. It's really easy to target them. So that's what I typically look for when I'm on Facebook. It's just really easy. You guys, you can work with all the people if you want, but pick people to target online as a way to generate revenue, right? Like even if you accept clients that are outside of what you would normally do, it's okay. Target people though. This is how I've made so much money, is targeting a specific person. There is a reason that probably 80% of the people that buy from me are bookkeepers and accountants, because they're easy to target. Who is easy to target online for you? Put more of those people in your audience, right? If you're not sure who is easy to target, we should have that conversation. So that was the first thing I did. I searched for a bunch of groups. I went into the members section. Found the admins. I sent them all a friend request, every single one of them. These people obviously haven't responded. I was already friends with Debbie, So what I did is I knew Debbie was the owner of this group because I remember when she started this group, you guys, like I've been around the bookkeeping world for quite a while. I remember when Debbie started this group, I would think I was one of the first members in it. So I messaged Debbie. I'm going to show you guys this. You guys are going to love this. It's freaking brilliant. Hey, Debbie, I've been a member of Bookkeepers Resource Group for quite a while. I have an awesome resource that I think would be valuable for your community around how to attract the right clients with content and copywriting. I was wondering if it would be okay to see if your community would want it. And in exchange, I would compensate you for allowing me to post in your group. I would also take the opportunity to thank you for creating such a valuable community for us. Thank you. Let me know, right? She's like, hey, can you share it with me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I write up the copy. I pretty much had a lot of it written because I was already planning to do this, right? I was like, I'm going to find a way to do this. So I sent her over the copy. She's like, great, just put admin approved. No big deal. I do that. I ask her, how can I comp you? I didn't tell her the dollar amount. Number one, that's the first thing. I did not tell her the dollar amount. I just was wondering, I wanted to make sure that she was okay with the exchange. If I make a post and I compensate you, are you okay with it? That's all I wanted to figure out, right? So the next thing that happened is I decided, let's go back to post, obviously, this post. Here's my post. I'm going to read it to you guys. It's good copy. How to stop attracting broke people. Admin approved. Bookkeepers and accountants that might be attracting low-end clients who don't want to pay your premium fees. There's a lot of talk about charging a premium. Raise your rates, charge your worth. Rah! And that sounds good, but it's not enough to just increase your rates if you're still calling in startups with no capital to invest. And I bet if you've gotten the objection, I can't afford it, you might need to make some tweaks to your marketing message to attract the right type of clients, dream clients who love to pay and stay forever. Clients that will grow with you and are happy to pay your premium fees. Recently, I delivered a key keynote speech on this exact topic, and it was so valuable that I booked 3 more speaking events from that room alone, because those individuals wanted their audience to hear the same message. And after having a quick chat with Debbie, she agreed that you all would love to have access to this completely free training that would help you stop attracting broke clients and start calling in clients who are ready to invest. Take note. I am leveraging my relationship with Debbie. Debbie trusts me. You can trust me too. This is strategic, right? Me thanking Debbie, me appreciating Debbie, me making note that Debbie thinks you should have it. This is strategic. I want to leverage the admin. Most of the people in this group probably know Debbie owns it, right? Also, a huge shout out to Debbie for creating this amazing community for all of us. If you want to understand how to call in premium clients, all you need to do is comment clients that pay below and we'll get it over to you. Now let's go make some money. XO Alyssa J. Dillon. This post has given me at minimum 50 new leads. 50 leads. And guess what? I decided, since it went so well, I would let it sit and simmer for a couple days. I was like, oh, Debbie, I still have to pay you. Where would you like me to do that? I sent her $50. I sent her $50, which is fairly inexpensive. But here's the thing. These are quality leads. Do you know that every single person I have messaged has responded to me? Not only have I messaged them to give them this training, they're responding. It's amazing. And here's the deal. Maybe this isn't blowing your mind. I spent $50 to get around probably 50 leads out of this so far. If you run Facebook ads, to get a quality lead, you're paying $18 a lead minimum. $18 per lead. I just got around 50 of them. And I'm going to keep bumping this post. I'm going to keep this post hanging out. Here's where it gets better. Debbie also liked the training. She also was super impressed, and she asked me to come back and speak in her community. You guys, Alexis, can you please hook this up? I forgot to tell you about it.
What date is it? I don't see a date. Oh, May 25th. All right.
At 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Just good thing you're here.
I saw that last message. I was like, huh.
Yeah. So she's going to hype it up for the VIP members. They're going to get on a Zoom call with me. Isn't that awesome? Right? So then from here, what I'm doing, following the same process. I love it. I reply, hey, I'm going to message you. Hey, Jessica, sending you a PM. I message them. I send them a message that's like, hey, I'm usually saying something like, hey, love, how is it going? They reply. And then I'm like, awesome. Here, now that you've sent me a response, I'm going to send you this training that I promised. Okay. Then I ask, let me know what you think about it. Right? And here's the thing. If they don't respond to me, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go message all of them. Hey, did you get a chance to watch that training? What'd you think? I sent every single one of these people a friend request. Here's even cooler. You guys noticed recently, I made a post. Profile. Maybe. What post did I make? I made this post, just updated a cash flow forecasting tool for my company, which I will be sharing in here, by the way. I'm waiting until ours is completely edited. There's tons of people who have commented on this, number one. But what's really cool is probably about a third of the people who opted in for the training in Debbie's group are also opting in for this, right? Because now they're coming to my profile and they're seeing and they're like, oh, what is this? A cash flow forecasting tool. I could use that, right? So now they're opting in for another thing. It gives me another reason to give them value, right? So I'm leveraging with other people as well. I have this guy who's being a pain in my butt, if I'm being honest. Oh my gosh. There's so many questions. Chris, I'm really working Chris right now. Chris Baden has a group called Flow Chat something or other. I submitted my post to him. I asked him if I could. He's like, yeah, sure. And then I sent it to him, but now he's asking me if he could share a video with me. And I'm like, Chris, let's not go off topic, bro. Like, you need to respond to me. I submitted my post and it didn't get a response yet. Like, he didn't approve it because he has approvals on for his posts in his group. So doing this with a couple of people, messaging a couple of people, trying it out with a couple different groups right now. The biggest thing is like, you know what, if you put something out and the post doesn't go well and nobody comments, send them 25 bucks, you know, like as a thank you, try to get it bumped, maybe have some of your friends, family who might be in that group. Like if your team, have your team join the group and bump the post a couple times, see if you can get some traction on it. Here's the other thing that I want to like really nail down on this. Is I decided to pay for the post because I already knew it was going to work, right? I've already used it with my audience. I knew the post was going to work. So I was reusing something that I knew worked. It's not like I was testing this out and then I'm going to pay. I actually went to my team and I said, hey, what lead magnets have been really, really successful for us? Like, I didn't just make up a new post out of thin air. I tested it on my audience first. Then I decided I was going to pay to get more people to see this. That makes sense, guys? The other thing that's happening is we have Brianna, who's going to take all of those leads and she's going to put them in our lead tracker, right? And so now whenever we are following up with leads, we know we can go back to these people in some way, right? So, all right. Was that helpful? Everyone take away some value from that. You're going to go implement some of this stuff. I'm going to clean up those slides for you guys. Angel, my sweet, sweet, sweet Angel baby. Can you do me a favor? Can you go into our Canva, clean up the rest of those slides? I didn't realize I didn't delete the rest of those. Download them into PDF and put them in the training with this training.
Okay.
Thank you. So everybody has it. I'm gonna stop recording.